So we're going to talk through transition. So first, let's define what a transition is. So if I'm looking at a sprint, right here, these numbers represent steps. So step 0 is like beginning, like I'm in a stance right here, I haven't moved yet. Steps 1 and 2, I classify that as a start, okay? So if I look at just 0, so the stance, steps 1 and 2, I'm looking at 30 to 40% velocity in that phase, okay? And the reason why I call this a start is because a lot of the same forces happen here. Once you get further along, those forces become less and less, and you're starting to reach more and more velocity. So right here is the biggest rate of change in velocity. So I'll call that accel equals rate of change in velocity, okay? So it's the highest rate of change in velocity in this phase. Now, the technical part of steps 0, 1, and 2, they're all very similar. So what it looks like is piston action and switching. So the leg is traveling backwards on contact while the other leg is driving up. It's pistons. It's not a lot of cycles, it's more pistons, right? Now, as we get past here, past steps 1 and 2, I'll look at steps 3 through 10. So on this, I'm looking at 40 to 80% velocity. It could be 85 too. 40 to 80, 85% velocity, sometimes even more, okay? And the reason why I look at this is that typically past step 10, athletes are reaching 80, 85, or even 90% of the velocity or higher past here. A lot of our athletes are hitting peak velocity around 13, 14 steps. So if you look at that, it's typically under 30 yards, somewhere in 20 to 25 if they're accelerating pretty well. So this is all transition. So what I look at in transition is I look at the acceleration rate is dropping while the velocity is increasing. So acceleration rate is dropping, so the change in rate of velocity is going down while the velocity is climbing, right? Now if I look at technically my body angles, I see rise. So I'm seeing the body angle rise every single step. The upper body, the shin angle, the hips, everything is rising when you go from steps 3 to 10. Typically around here, 10, 11, you'll see athletes fully upright, okay? So I use steps 3 through 10 to transition my body to upright, okay? Now, once I get into this phase and my body's upright, I still have more. So usually this is 80 to 100% velocity, right? So if I really look at this, once I get through this phase and I start to come upright, it's still a couple more steps until I reach peak velocity. So for some, it's 13, 14, maybe step 15, where they reach their peak velocity. But I have to have some type of upright running to get my body into full peak speed. So taking a step back, I have my start, 30, 40% velocity, highest rate of change in acceleration, in velocity, which is our acceleration. And it's a lot of the same piston-like actions. As I get to transition, it's 40 to 80 to 85%. My acceleration rate is dropping while my velocity is increasing, and I'm rising my angles up. Rising, 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 rising. It's starting to become more and more cyclical as I go. When I get to here, I'm fully upright, and it's very cyclical, and it's upright, hips are tall, and we're attacking down on everything. So this, we have the acceleration rate is way down, and the velocity is up as we finish. Thank you so much for watching this video. Drop a comment down below if you have any questions. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss another video.